I'm going to.
No, it looks good.
One little ritual at all the major caravan and motorhome shows we come to is to come to this stand. It's the wheelhome stand where we find Stephen Wheeler. Stephen Wheeler, as far as I'm concerned, has really got a reputation for bringing out an innovation in his vehicles every year, sometimes more than one innovation. This year he's got this amazing little one berth stroke two berth motorhome. I'd love it. You'd like it too. This little van has been converted into a one or two berth motorhome. It's got all the things you expect, and I mean all the things you expect. There's a bunk down there, but there's also a single bunk up here. The bunk on the ground floor is kind of about 6'5" long, so even if you're pretty tall you can get inside. The bunk up here is 6 foot long, so if you're taking a shorter partner or a kid or something, for your grandchild for a day out or for a weekend out or for a week's holiday, you've got somewhere else to put them. And the bunk itself comes down as simply as this. How about that? And I've never done that before, but it works perfectly well. And then you've got a step to get to it right behind me, like that, leaving me with 2 steps to get up in the bunk. Here I go. Hey! And of course, if in the middle of the night you have a sudden and urgent call of nature, good Lord, what do you call that? So everything you need is in this little motorhome. There's a cooker, there's a sink, there's a loo, there's a bunk along here, there's a bunk up there, and there's plenty of room for 2 people to travel and have an interesting time, or 1 person to travel and have an interesting time in this little motorhome. Now this is with the little motorhome set up in the evening configuration, if you like. There's 7 foot of headroom above my head in that bit. There's a very comfortable seat here that would just about accommodate 2 close friends, and there's another seat just there that I could use. If I was wild camping or if I was on a small CL, I'd have everything I needed within this space. There's a connection to take on mains electric, there's water containers, there's a pump even up to the sink, so everything you need is in this little tiny vehicle. If you're a single person, and you have to realise that in the world today there are more and more single people, this vehicle would make a vehicle that you could use every day and a vehicle that you could use for your weekends and your holidays. Yeah, off you go. This is the main bed. It's about big enough for a 6'5", 6'6" person. Got my feet down there, I'm perfectly flat. The cushions all work out to the same thickness, so there's no problems with those, and I'm very comfortable. If I had a second person with me, all I'd have to do is pull down the top bunk, and that's good for someone up to 6 foot tall. So we put Dot in there 1.5 times. And if, of course, I have a problem in the night time after drinking several pints of beer, I've got me loo right beside me. It's dead handy, isn't it, really?
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The Land Rover shop and drop facility is situated in the suite of offices in Hall 3A. The shop and drop facility, sponsored by Land Rover, is situated in the offices in Hall 3A.
This little vehicle is now in its travelling camping configuration. The roof is down, the back seats are actually stored so there's front sittings for 2 people with all the normal leg room, the seats are in the usual position. It's as you would drive it with 2 people. There's a further change that can be made to take the back seats and actually put them in the correct position to make this a 4-seater, and we'll show you that next.
single people should still get out there, they should still enjoy themselves. With the Vikings here, we introduced it as a single berth camper, but we very quickly introduced a second bed option, which is a bed in the roof, because people might be on their own, but they occasionally want to take a grandchild or a friend even with them, and it gives that ability.
This is really usable as a family car.
Very much so. That is a really big part of what we do. I would say 7, probably 8 out of 10 sales we make, we take a car in part exchange. And it might be a little Fiesta or a Polo or a Honda Jazz, that sort of thing. So yes, it really does become the car as well as a camper.
And this is the kind of vehicle you could jump in and go to the shops on Friday, and then on Saturday you could go off for 2 weeks holiday in it.
Yeah, you really can. They've got a really good range on the fuel tanks. They do 50 odd miles per gallon. I recently delivered one to Belfast in Northern Ireland. Drove from Essex to Holyhead, boat across to Dublin, drove up to Belfast, and when I got to the lady's house, the fuel gauge was saying 50.8 to the gallon.